little issues.
In the summer of 2021, Gabby Petito looked like she was living the dream so many people chased online. She was 22 years old, smiling, adventurous, and traveling across the United States in a white van with her fiancé, Brian Laundrie. Together, they documented their journey on social media, sharing photos of national parks, sunsets, campfires, and life on the open road. To millions of viewers, it looked perfect. The couple had left New York in July, planning a cross-country road trip that would last several months. Their goal was simple: visit America's most beautiful landscapes and turn the experience into a travel vlog. Gabby handled most of the online presence. She edited videos, wrote captions, and carefully crafted the image of a carefree life on wheels. But behind the filtered photos and cheerful posts, something wasn't right. Friends later revealed that the relationship between Gabby and Brian was tense. They argued often. Brian was described as controlling at times, especially when it came to Gabby's social media work. Small disagreements could quickly turn into emotional confrontations. Still, from the outside, none of this was visible. On August 12, 2021, the illusion cracked. That day, police in Moab, Utah, received a call about a couple arguing near a grocery store. A witness reported seeing a man slap a woman. Officers located the white van shortly after and pulled it over. Body camera footage captured what happened next. Footage that would later be watched by millions. Gabby was crying, shaking, apologizing repeatedly. Brian appeared calm, almost detached. Gabby told officers she struggled with anxiety and blamed herself for the argument. Brian said they had been fighting over stress and minor issues. The officers separated them for the night but ultimately decided not to press charges. They drove away the next morning. At the time, no one could have known that this traffic stop would become one of the most haunting pieces of evidence in the case. After Utah, the trip continued. Photos appeared from Wyoming. Posts were shared from scenic locations. But something was off. Gabby's social media activity became inconsistent. Her captions didn't sound like her. The tone changed. On August 27th, Gabby was last seen alive at a campground near Grand Teton National Park. Witnesses later reported seeing a white van parked unusually close to the water. That same day, Gabby had a tense phone call with her mother. She sounded upset, distracted, then silence. On August 30th, Gabby's Instagram posted a photo with a simple caption: "No service in Yosemite." But there was a problem. Gabby was never in Yosemite. Her family knew immediately that something was wrong. Calls went unanswered. Messages were unread. Days passed with no word. On September 1st, Brian Laundrie returned to Florida alone, driving the white van. He didn't contact Gabby's parents. He didn't explain anything. He didn't report her missing. He went home and said nothing. On September 11th, Gabby Petito's family reported her missing. Within hours, the story exploded across the internet. True crime communities, social media users, and independent investigators began piecing together Gabby's final days. Every photo, every post, every video frame was analyzed. The road trip that once looked like freedom now felt like a trail of unanswered questions. And at the center of it all was one chilling fact. Brian came back alone. When news broke that Gabby Petito was missing, the public reaction was immediate and overwhelming. Within hours, her name was everywhere. News channels interrupted regular programming. Social media platforms filled with theories, timelines, and side-by-side comparisons of photos. What made this case different from so many others was the amount of digital evidence already available. Gabby's life had been documented almost in real time. One detail stood out above all others. Brian Laundrie had returned home alone in Gabby's van. Police in Florida attempted to speak with him, but Brian, following advice from his family, refused to answer any questions. Instead, his parents directed officers to their lawyer. This silence only fueled suspicion. To the public, It looked like Brian was hiding something. To investigators, it was a major obstacle. Meanwhile, the white van became a crucial piece of evidence. Authorities seized it from the Laundrie family home and began forensic analysis. Investigators hoped it might contain clues about Gabby's final days, traces of where she had been, what had happened inside, and whether there were signs of a struggle. As police worked behind the scenes, something unprecedented was happening online. Thousands of strangers began helping. Amateur investigators combed through hours of travel videos posted by other van life creators. They analyzed backgrounds, road signs, and landscape details. One YouTuber reviewing her own footage from a camping trip noticed something chilling. A white van parked in the background of her video, recorded on August 27th, near Grand Teton National Park. The location matched the area where Gabby had last been seen. This discovery was quickly passed to the FBI. It narrowed the search area dramatically. What might have taken weeks was now focused within days, thanks to the internet. At the same time, new questions emerged about Brian's behavior after returning to Florida. Surveillance footage showed him shopping, riding his bike, and acting as if nothing had happened. He never joined search efforts. He never made a public plea. He never acknowledged Gabby's disappearance. Public pressure intensified. Protesters gathered outside the Laundrie home holding signs and demanding answers. Reporters camped on the street day and night. Every movement of the family was recorded and shared online. The case had become more than an investigation, it was a national obsession. Then, on September 17th, Brian Laundrie disappeared. His parents reported that he had gone for a hike in a nearby nature reserve and never returned. Once again, attention shifted. Now there were two missing people. Law enforcement launched a massive search operation in the swampy reserve, using drones, dogs, and helicopters. The conditions were harsh. The area was filled with water, mud, and dangerous wildlife. Days passed with no sign of Brian. While the search for him continued, investigators focused on Wyoming. On September 19, 2021, human remains were discovered in the Grand Teton area. Dental records later confirmed what everyone feared. They belonged to Gabby Petito. The announcement shook the world. Candlelight vigils were held across the country. People who had never met Gabby mourned her as if she were family. Her social media pages filled with messages of grief, anger, and heartbreak. But even with this discovery, the case was not over. There was still one major question left unanswered. Where was Brian Laundrie? And more importantly, what had really happened in those final moments on the road? As the world mourned Gabby Petito, the search for Brian Laundrie became the focus of the investigation. Law enforcement agencies expanded their efforts across Florida, concentrating on the vast nature reserve where Brian was last believed to be. The area was difficult to search, thick vegetation, standing water, and unpredictable weather slowed progress. Days turned into weeks, and speculation grew louder with every passing hour. During this time, authorities released more details about Gabby's final days. Investigators reconstructed a timeline using phone records, text messages, and location data. One message sent from Gabby's phone after August 27th raised immediate concern. The wording didn't sound like her. Family members said it felt distant, unnatural. It strengthened the belief that someone else may have sent it. Public attention intensified. News outlets replayed police body camera footage from Utah. Viewers studied every frame, every pause, every expression. Many noticed how Gabby apologized repeatedly while Brian remained composed. What once seemed like a minor roadside incident now looked like a warning sign that had gone unnoticed. Meanwhile, Brian's silence continued. His parents issued brief statements asking for privacy, but that only deepened public frustration. Why hadn't Brian spoken? Why hadn't he helped locate Gabby when she was first reported missing? These questions dominated headlines. On October 20th, 2021, the case took a final turn. Search teams discovered personal items belonging to Brian in the nature reserve, items his parents had helped identify. Nearby, investigators found human remains. Dental records later confirmed they belonged to Brian Laundrie. Authorities also recovered a notebook. Inside it, Brian had written a confession, admitting responsibility for Gabby's death. According to the writing, an argument escalated during their trip, and he claimed he acted out of fear and desperation. The details were limited, and many questions were left unanswered, but the note confirmed what investigators had already concluded. The case was officially closed. But for the public, the story did not feel finished. How did a relationship documented so openly online hide such deep conflict? How did warning signs go unnoticed by so many? And how did a joyful road trip turn into a national tragedy? Gabby Petito's story sparked widespread conversations about emotional control, relationship dynamics, and the difference between what people show online and what they experience privately. Her case also demonstrated the power of collective attention. Without online investigators and shared footage, key evidence might never have been found. In the months that followed, Gabby's family established a foundation in her name, focused on helping others recognize warning signs and find support. Her story became more than a case file, it became a reminder. If you want to hear more dark and mysterious true crime stories, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.